back with more Hotel Redemption. Finally, right? It's clearly been a while. And I'm crazy sorry about that, but it's a lot for one person to do, along with working on a lot of other things. But I'm back and ready to word vomit all over y'all. So for anyone new, this is something I kind of made on a whim after season 1 of Has Been Hotel dropped, and realized the premise of the show wasn't as much of the focal point like I originally thought. And don't get me wrong, I get they were limited, but did we really need a war with heaven in season 1 along with the dead angel? Like, don't get me wrong, all that stuff is fun, but I was kind of hoping for the characters to go through complex arcs and learn what it means to be an actual good person, and that change is hard but worth it. But apparently that was my bad, guys. So instead of a rewrite, I thought, hey, why not take the main idea, can a sinner be redeemed, and work from that? I mean, I had already made all 7 versions of my interpretations of the deadly sins, so what's wrong with making this weird Frankenstein rewrite / AU, and just like so much more? Like, I went out of my way to remake this world's world building, so overhaul is what we're gonna dub this. Now, like the title says, this is the world building video. I'll be going over how this new world works and why things are the way they are. I won't go into like extreme detail about certain things, cause we'll be here all day, but because I will elaborate it more on the next video, so no worries here. Also, fair warning to everyone, there will not be talk about the other realms of hell, just the Pride Ring and heaven. So when I say the Lust District or the Gluttony District, I'm talking about an area in the Pride Ring, okay? Cool? Let's get into it. How the exterminations work. Okay, there's 2 ways the extermination works in this world, aka the lie the sinners / Hellborns are told and the actual truth. The lie. So, sinners and Hellborns believe the extermination is due to overpopulation. Also, the Hellborns are not pardoned, only the royal family and the 7 deadly sins and a few Goetia members. That's it. So every year, Lucifer and Lilith make a speech about the extermination, about how sad they are, not really, and warn the Hellborns to leave if they wish to keep their lives. The sinners obviously aren't happy about all of this, but due to the exterminations, nothing ever happens since most of the rebellions started, die out, or lose interest. So now sinners just sit and wait. Like, the main point of the lie is so everyone assumes that the reason Lucifer is letting souls die is to keep the Hellborn population / army from running out of space. It's a somewhat good lie, but who's really gonna question him, right? The truth. Overpopulation is both a lie and a truth. While many believe Lucifer is sacrificing souls for the benefit of Hellborns and Hellkind, he's really not. Due to the influx amount of humans committing sins, less and less souls are making it to heaven, causing a shift in power, which in turn is causing problems on Earth. One realm can't be more powerful than the other, as it breaks the universal balance. The more souls that go to hell, the more the scale tips in hell's favor. And this might sound like a good thing for hell, but if the man upstairs finds out, it's goodbye universe, hello new project. So Lucifer and Michael have made a deal to have angels come down and kill the souls in hell to keep hell and heaven's realms balanced. There is also another deeper truth to the exterminations. While Lucifer would have loved to win over heaven in another war, he just can't bear the thought of losing any more of his children. Side note, this is pretty much how it all works. It's simple but pretty effective. I mean, there's a few holes, but having a character lie helps hide them. I mean, Lucifer is the king of hell and basically was the most loved angel, so all his lies are truths to those who trust him or loved him once. I mean, no one is truly going to question Lucifer. This also shows that overpopulation and being scared of how powerful hell can be and affect things happen at the same time. You just need to have characters not know the full truth for a very long time and showing that there's something deeper going on behind it all, because it helps keep the mystery for the audience and main characters, because in this overhaul there will be times Lucifer slips that he knows more than he's saying and will often be questioned. Also, Michael and all of heaven are well aware of the deal, including Iris. Iris knows everything, but knows she can't say anything for fear of being outed. And cause if anyone knows the real reason, then who knows what will happen. I mean, it's not like someone will find out the truth and start another war, right? How God works. So this is just a quick note. Even though God will not be 100% incorporated into the overhaul, I do feel it's important that I explain how he functions within this world. So overhaul God is 50% biblical lore and 50% my own thing. He isn't 100% all-knowing anymore. Due to humans becoming more unpredictable, he can't keep track of them, but he does feel when something big is about to happen, which is why Michael and Lucifer are trying to hide what's going on. Also, only a few high-ranked angels and Michael know that if God figures out what's going on, will either reset Earth or start over. So the angels that do know about the extermination but don't know the full reason behind it are kind of manipulated into believing that it's the right thing to do. But that would require God to actually pay attention to Earth and not his other universes. Also, God does not get involved with humans anymore, as he's realized helping them only hurts them. So the angels are pretty much 100% in charge of that, which doesn't always work out, as they tend to be more literal and unchanging. Plus, they don't really understand God as well as they think they do. While angels look to him with love and service, they really can't comprehend his vastness and tend to mess up a lot. So yeah, it's basically the blind leading the blind with angels. How souls work. So souls in this overhaul work like power sources. One soul is equivalent in power to a nuclear reactor, and putting enough souls together can create something functionally similar to the sun, which is how the 7 rings are able to thrive. Souls collected by the 7 princes boost their own personal power, but also keep their realm alive. Once a human dies and they go to either heaven or hell, their soul is now their body, and how you lived your life reflects that, but only in hell. Souls in heaven look the same as they did when they died, but healthier and happier. Yet human souls who go to hell look more demonic, along with having colors of their sins reflected on themselves. So if your sin was lust, you'd have a dark blue coloring, or if your sin was wrath, you'd have a red coloring. You might also have multiple colors depending on how much you sinned. Again though, this isn't your real body anymore, just a reflection of your sins and past. So if you're good, you might see some changes. Also, a soul in heaven is like screwing in a light bulb. They were made to shine and keep heaven glowing, while a soul in hell is like a hot girl in a frat party. Everybody wants her, and not for good reasons. Due to this, souls in hell don't work the same way as in heaven, and a contract is needed to be made to use someone's soul. And speaking of contracts, soul contracts. A soul contract is something only Hellborns can do. No other human souls can make contracts with other human souls. However, while Hellborns can make contracts, they aren't really allowed to, and if are caught making illegal contracts, well,
death to all of them.
It's not good, and they make it a huge spectacle, so everybody knows, don't do that. However though, only high-ranked demons who are chosen by a deadly sin can make contracts. Since a soul is pure power, collecting contracts, aka a sinner's soul, is like buying a battery pack. Once a sinner has signed their soul away to one of the deadly princes, a part of their soul is used to power one of the rings, or the sin themselves. This also has a downside. Even though souls are very powerful, they can be used up before you know it. Also, a soul contract does benefit the sinner in some way, depending on who you sold your soul to. If a sinner sells their soul to the Prince of Lust or the Lust representative, they get to live in the Lust district. And anything they asked for in the contract, like if you wanted to be a model, they'll make you a model. Obviously though, contracts in hell are a double-edged sword, so if you become a model, it's not guaranteed you'll stay one, or their definition of model might be different, since it's the lust district and hell, so yeah. Also, a soul contract can't be broken by any other demon or another prince. Only the original holder of the contract can break it, or if the sinner dies, or if the contract maker dies. Hint, hint. Side note about a soul burning out, souls were not made to be used as power sources, even though when they sign away their soul, only half of it is used at first. The longer you stay in a contract, the more it starts to take. This is due to the exterminations causing blackouts, due to a mass loss of souls, causing the contracts to pull more of your soul from you when this happens, and when a soul burns out, you will no longer exist. Your soul is gone, but sinners have about 6+ years before it happens. To be honest, I really wanted multiple versions on how a sinner could die and not just by extermination. There needed to be more fear than just a once a year thing, cause this is hell. Sinners really shouldn't be living in a glorified playground. Sinners should feel unsafe and not get what they want all the time. There are still consequences for everything. I mean, hell is basically a mind game of a bear trap. I also love Hellraiser, so keep that in mind. Anyway, death in hell. Death in hell is pretty simple. Roughly anyone can die in hell, but since sinners don't have physical bodies, they can't die the normal way. Only a few high-ranked demons can kill them, or any of the 7 deadly princes. Angels can also kill sinners with a weapon or just by touching them, aka blessing them. But when a sinner dies, it's their soul that's dying, and basically it no longer exists. There is no other realm the soul goes to, or a way to bring them back. They're gone forever. They also don't become part of the ecosystem, they are just gone. However, death with Hellborns is different. They can die of natural causes, old age, sickness, or just regular old murder, and since they have no souls, there's no coming back. But it's their bodies that become one with hell. Since all of the Hellborns come from their princes, that means their bodies are made of the ring they come from. So when they die, they get reabsorbed, creating their ecosystem. Side note, angels cannot die by anything other than God. They can hurt one another, but there is no death for them. They are the embodiment of light and grace, and just like Hellborns, they don't have souls. A soul is a only human kind of thing. Also similar to the Hellborns, when an angel dies, they get reabsorbed into heaven, or they get reabsorbed back into God. So, there. Locations! Okay, now we're gonna get into the actual physical side of the world building, aka how the Pride Ring works. Since sinners can't leave the Pride Ring due to Lucifer not wanting to give humans a way to avoid the extermination, and because he enjoys watching them torture each other. Not so perfect now, huh? But it's also due to his pride of controlling them and the situation. Either way, the other 7 deadly princes needed a way to collect souls to boost their power for the future war and for their rings, without constantly going to Pride and spending all their time there. So they created 6 city-like districts for sinners to go and live. But you can only live in one district, and you have to sell your soul to live there. But you do get a free 24-hour runaround. All the districts have a 24-hour first visit rule. Each ring is designed to entice you and play on your inner sins, along with added protection during extermination. Well, to an extent. Each district has a weak shield when the extermination happens, in hopes the angels will ignore their city so they don't end up losing too many souls. Also, if you use up all your first visits in every district, don't worry, you have the rest of the Pride Ring to live in and can still sell your soul if you want to. Though, you'll have to do it at their gates, and they really like to make you wait. Anyway, let's learn about the districts. The 7 districts. Number 1, Pride. The way Pride is built is very mismatched due to Lucifer not caring enough to entice sinners. He never really created anything other than the kingdom in the middle of the ring. The castle itself, though, is based on Victorian Gothic cathedrals, which hold very many demons. However, no sinners are allowed in, and since Lucifer has lost all interest in torturing sinners due to the extermination, the sinners have basically turned the 7 extra areas into their own personal cities. Also, there are no overlords, as there's no magical power to gain other than the regular humankind, so everyone is out for themselves. The landscape, though, is a bit unique. Lucifer, during his time on Earth, had a bit of a sick habit of creating the worst creatures and areas in this place now called Australia, and yeah, let's just say he thought it was the perfect place to replicate in hell. Though now it's 100% worse, but hey, whatever puts a smile on the fallen angel's face. Am I right? Number 2, Lust. The Lust District is basically every red light district ever made, but with other fun things. It's all very theatrical, burlesque shows, jazz clubs, and 70s go-go dance clubs, peep shows, and smoke lounges. They've even started including host and hostesses bars and many more themed bars and clubs. The overall design of the Lust District is very 70s, very old school Hollywood. It's meant to give a classic feel, but also a warm and inviting feeling. But sex is the overall theme. Everything leads to it, and while the district seems like a fun time, and it is if you're able to keep up with the fast-paced lifestyle or able to stay on top, but if you can't, well then it's an absolute nightmare. The Lust District is designed to always want one thing from you, which can be draining and mentally taxing, leaving you vulnerable to others who are more likely to take advantage of you. Psychological torture is highly used, and the few Hellborns that live in the Lust District have no problem using their abilities on you or keeping you as their pets, which can be either good or bad depending on who buys you. Also, since the new representative took over the Lust District is more hostile than ever, the contracts don't even seem worth it anymore. Number 3, Envy. The Envy District is a underwater paradise, or well, a themed underwater paradise, since not all sinners can breathe underwater. But with its floating dance clubs and bioluminescence, it's truly a fantasy come to life. It even has a beach. You could almost say it's like a fancy adult water park or a never-ending spring break type of atmosphere. It's basically built for never-ending fun. The overall design of the Envy District is very coral reef inspired. It's designed to make you think you're underwater and feel very otherworldly, and is extremely beautiful. A social media heaven. Every area of the Envy District is post-worthy, but again, if you can't keep up or stay at the top of Envy's social hierarchy, then living in the Envy District can be difficult. We'll say. The Envy District is built to make you as crazy as possible, always making you think you're better than everyone and lose control when the numbers don't come in. The Envy District is very celebrity awarding, but it's all based on numbers. If you aren't performing or making others envious of your life, then you won't be rewarded. This also causes sinners to act out more violently and even try to blackmail or ruin other sinners' lives/accounts. And lies are like air. Envy can't get enough of it. Stalkers are also a huge problem, but also a weird plus. Once someone is low enough in numbers, they tend to stalk higher ranked people to get photos with them or of them to boost their numbers, which always leads to fighting, but are also seen as a symbol of how you've made it. Also, organ harvesting is an issue. Leviathan is always looking for new ingredients for their spells, so yeah, look out for that. But other than that, the Envy District is basically Jersey Shores mixed with the Kardashians underwater. So it's a great place to live if you don't mind losing your mind over what people think of you. Number 4. Wrath. The Wrath district is extremely straightforward. Unlike the other districts, it isn't trying to torment you or manipulate your anger. Anger and rage is all that's needed for the district to function. It has no laws or rules. Everything is based on how you choose to live your afterlife, alone or fighting with others. Fight clubs are everywhere, theft is high, and sinners who live in the Wrath district are all pretty much Wrath sinners. Hardly any other sin type can handle the rage and overall boredom of the district. The land is dry and dusty. Most of the houses are carved into the mountains, small areas made from broken debris, and there's not much shade from the city's sun. That's right, the district has its own sun, and it's boiling. There is no real fauna or many animals. It's very much Mad Max meets Fallout with a sprinkle of The Walking Dead, because yeah, the creatures who live in the district, while they can't fully kill you, will go after you, and trust me, you'll wish they did kill you. But that's also kind of the fun of it, the adrenaline of the chase, the feeling of taking all your pain and anger out on something that's trying to hurt you. Wrath truly is the best place for the angry monsters of society, cause them selling their souls to the district benefits everyone else in hell, cause holding back can only work for so long, till they lose themselves. The Wrath District is a never-ending daycare for those who can play the game. Anyone else entering is in for a world of pain and harassment. So yeah, personally, if your main sin wasn't Wrath, I'd stay away, cause there's no way you're gonna like it there. Though the plus side is Wrath Sinners and Wrath Hellborns get along pretty well. Wrath Sinners have even adopted their cultures, so teeth are now a full-time currency. Fun, right? Number 5. Gluttony. The Gluttony District is the biggest and most surprising district for sinners to visit, as it's very clean and very classy. The Ring is very old school and is constantly hosting lavish balls, tea parties, and classical shows and music. It also has a very intoxicating smell. Most sinners tend to visit the Gluttony District first due to this smell. The district is designed to mimic the Regency era with its symmetrical designs and decorative elements, along with having the most lavish gardens and plants decorating in and outside the city. Most of the buildings are built similar to a greenhouse, so the city is very open. The biggest upside of the Gluttony District is the food. Everything is always cooked to perfection, and the flavors are unlike anything anyone's ever had, which is how the district ensnares you. Keeping up or staying on top isn't the district's style. The city is designed to make you think all is perfect and wonderful, the people sweet and kind, and like any carnivorous plant, any sign of weakness, and well, you're doomed. I mean, Hellborns of this district need to eat too. Often, if you're not careful, you will be taken to the livestock part of the city and torn apart, and your limbs used to feed the Hellborns. Or, similar to the Lust District, you could end up as someone's pet and force-fed. Many of the plant Hellborns can't enjoy the food they eat, so they love watching the sinners eat. But a few have gotten into the habit of overindulging the sinners, which never ends well. Also, don't drink the sap that falls from the trees. You're not gonna like what it does to you, but the locals will. Also, don't be alarmed, or, well, do, cause being watched is a constant feeling in the Gluttony District, and can leave anyone feeling extremely paranoid. Also, this place is very expensive, so do be sure you can manage your money well, or who knows what might happen to you. Number 6. Greed. The Greed District is a 1920s Great Gatsby wonderland. It's like Vegas, but on steroids. There are performances unlike anything you've ever seen, and money flowing like a river. The city is paved in gold, and giant gemstones illuminate the city. Anything and everything could be yours, but obviously for a price. You are allowed to gamble away anything, and I do mean anything. The district, while fun, is still a hellish wonderland, designed to keep you addicted to the adrenaline of winning, but also to manipulate you into thinking enough is never enough. Be it wealth, attention, power, love, the district will always make you feel like you need more, which in turn can turn anything you've collected into a sickness. Anything and everything will be seen as yours and cause you to hoard things, even people, and can kind of cause an all manner of violence and paranoia within yourself. And the constant theft probably doesn't help. And even though the district gives you everything, it always feels hollow, nothing feels real, it pretty much feels like a never-ending dream. And for those who can keep up, it is great, but for those who lose it all, not so much. Sinners who lose more than they can pay back tend to lose all their privileges from their contracts and are forced to work the debts off at the casinos or underground mines. But the Greed District is a lot of fun if you can keep your head above water and not slip into an endless pit of everything is mine mentality. So enjoy the high life and the Art Deco inspired city that never stops. Number 7. Sloth. The Sloth District is a tech wonderland. Just like the Sloth Ring itself, it's highly advanced, though due to humans not really being smart enough to understand how everything works, the district is dumbed down. Like, it's still extremely difficult to work things out, but your average sloth Hellborn child can figure it out, so... Though, even with it dumbed down, the Sloth District has had to incorporate a lot more human-based entertainment to entice sinners to sell their souls. I mean, there's only so many smart sinners that want to create complex algorithms or techs. So the Sloth District now has virtual worlds that feel and look real to the point many stay hooked up to the machines. There's even one world that allows you to look human again, and while that might seem like a weird perk, it's still hell. The Sloth District is probably the fastest in burning out souls, and even if you do manage to avoid burning out, the virtual worlds always come with a cost. Stay too long and everything breaks. Nothing stays happy forever, and the mind can be so cruel even when it's not real. Anyway, they've also incorporated nightclubs and music. Well, more popular music now. Creativity is now highly encouraged. Anything to keep the sinners somewhat happy enough to stay. Though most of the sinners who do sell their souls are never happy, or joy they had before living there. The district is also very weirdly built. While the Sloth Ring itself is more Rococo meets cyberpunk, the Sloth District is a hodgepodge of buildings and designs. It almost looks like a glitched out photo. There also isn't much of a landscape other than snow and electric ice, so be aware of that. The biggest downsides are mainly the never-ending feeling of emptiness. No matter the distraction, you will always feel it. And also the broken sinners, aka sinners so lost and broken they aren't even there anymore. Just hollow shells waiting to burn out. And if this happens to you, you are taken to a building in the back and tested on or hooked up to machines till you burn out. So yeah, not super great, but I hear the new superstar Haffy is pulling huge numbers, so that's nice. Number 8. Fake Heaven. So the Fake Heaven District, also known as the Gathering of the Sinless District, which isn't really a district, but a weird place all the religious zealots, cultists, and anyone who just doesn't understand how they ended up in hell, go. There is no representative for this district, well, not officially. After Adam and Eve passed away, they were not allowed into heaven due to sinning, even though they went through a lot after and still did stuff for God, but due to being the first man and second woman, they were allowed to keep their human forms and given a place in hell that protects them from sinners, Hellborns, and even Lucifer himself. The building they live in is an angelic library / museum, or well, it's protected with angelic light, but the stuff inside is all just human artifacts and every written and non-written mention of religion from the beginning. Hint, hint. Anyway, due to the building being a big ball of light and where it is and who lives there, Many evil people who used God or religion to hurt or harm others have completely taken over the area, and take Adam and Eve being there as a sign that they're either not in hell or need to convert other sinners, thinking their work's not done. Adam and Eve have no part in this and have tried to get the sinners to understand they're bad people, but it never works. Many sinners tend to avoid the area entirely. No matter how nice the sinless seem, it's just not worth it. Even if the area is so clean it's scary, and the bright white and gold of the tents and huts give off an inviting glow, it's still not worth it. While hell may make you crazy and hurt you, fake heaven is humanity's evil times 100. So yeah, probably best to stay away. And number 9, Hotel Redemption. Okay, finally, the hotel. So the hotel is located between the Greed and Gluttony district, which was probably not the best place to build it, but it does have the most foot traffic, next to Lust, of course. But due to the combined beauty of the Gluttony and Greed district, it's a perfect view all around. The hotel itself used to be a waiting area, so to speak, for sinners debating on who they'd sell their soul to. It's been abandoned for over 50 years and looks it. Well, on the outside anyway. It's crooked and mismatched in its design. It was built in a hurry and deliberately made not to look nice to trick sinners into selling their souls faster. Luckily, Lily has taken ownership of it and has been fixing it up over the years, decorating the inside with all kinds of unique junk. Lily's a bit of a maximalist. Every surface of a room needs to be covered, and I mean, makes sense since she's had about 200 birthdays, so the girls acquired a lot. Also, it doesn't help that Lily has a bad habit of collecting demonic bones that now decorate the hotel. Or, well, 2/3 of the hotel, as a good chunk of it is still under construction, stuff is always falling apart, and the creatures living in the walls and rooms doesn't help. So to all guests, be aware if you go to the 3rd floor, you might not come back down. Anyway though, the hotel is warmly colored and crazily decorated and open to all. There literally is no downsides to staying here, other than the mandatory group therapy and a kind of flaky host. Other than that, the hotel is quite nice. It also has no real theme or inspiration, as it wasn't built with anything in mind or designed by people who cared, which I think it adds to its new life's charm. Also, don't worry about the landscape of the districts. Unlike Lucifer, the district's wildlife is meant to entice sinners unless given a reason. So try not to piss anything off, because it will really hurt. Anyway, on to the angelic side of things. But do keep in mind, heaven is just heaven. It's just a never-ending plane of existence, but is kinda separated, as the humans don't really need to be involved with the angels unless someone has specific questions. The angel section is just never-ending towers with rooms for everyone. But if an angel needs to be somewhere, they can will the place that they need. They all kind of work similar to a hive mind and send messages to each other whenever. And as for the human side, because I know you're curious, it's just Earth, but better, as that's all humans have ever known, and would probably get bored or freak out if it was just a garden and given full reign of the area. Everyone has enough space to be, and everyone can create their own perfect idea of their little slice of heaven, within limits, obviously. Like, my perfect heaven is swimming in a heated pool while it's snowing, and playing with my dog and watching The Twilight Zone with my grandpa again. Anyway though, enough about that. Let's get into the fun stuff. Angelic weapons! It was bound to come up. I'm just checking all the boxes. Weapons! Angelic weapons are literally just blessed steel, meaning they hold a bit of angelic light in them. They also aren't able to kill an angel. Since the steel is blessed with angelic light, it wouldn't make sense for it to kill an angel, since angels are just light themselves. Only high-ranked angels can kill another angel, like barehandedly, or harm them, which is rare. Anyway, angels also don't leave their weapons behind after the extermination. There's no point. The steel needs to be constantly blessed to work. If a sinner or Hellborn got a weapon, they'd have to act fast to get anything from it. However, angels are more likely to lose a feather during the extermination, which are more magically potent. Hellborns will often look for them and either sell them to Leviathan or take them to Satan to be stored away. And though it's rare, sometimes some Hellborns will use the essence from a feather and make blessed weapons on their own and sell them to sinners, which is highly illegal. Lucifer hates the idea of a sinner getting to take the easy way out, and since they're infused with angelic light, they're usually found before anything happens, thanks to Lucifer being able to sense them. And unfortunately, the Hellborns caught with any angelic infused weapon are killed. I should also mention the weapons made by the angels are very old school and designed to hurt as much as possible, since Lucifer only agreed to the extermination if his kind maliciously killed the way they did his children and suffer the way he did instead of blessing them, which is kind of less painful and more merciful, which is a fun way to say, let's learn more about angelic magic. Angelic magic. So angelic magic is pretty basic. They can all bless something or someone, create life, though they can't create souls. So what they make has to be sent to God to be given a soul. They also can shapeshift to a degree, depending on what type of angel they are. But they can all heal anything, possess humans, astral project. Basically, they can do just about anything within limit to their angelic type, meaning a third triad level angel can't break the fabric of reality like a first triad angel can. Basically, every angel can do the same kind of magic, but at their angelic types/levels. Angelic hierarchy. So for Hotel Redemption, I'm using the actual angel hierarchy, aka the 9 choirs of angels, which is based on angelic races and their power level. And yes, angels do have a version of races, which can be kind of confusing based on the hierarchy of it all. But yeah, when people show a picture of a biblically accurate angel and assume that's what all of them look like, not all angels actually look like that, or that high in rank. Well, they're still considered high, but not like the top dogs, so let's get into that, shall we? First triad angels. First triad angels, aka the highest rank angels, are 3 different angel races. The strongest ones, aka the top dogs, are the seraphim, which have 6 wings that completely cover them, and they are the attendants of the throne of God, aka God's right hands. And in Hotel Redemption, they're who Michael is afraid of, along with everyone else. Their power and final say is just as strong as God's. They are also aware of the issue in heaven, and though it pains them to hide the truth, they understand the big picture. The next strongest are the cherub, which is what overhaul Lucifer is. They are depicted as having 4 wings and 4 faces. Lucifer's form is simplified for artistic purposes, but anyway, they contemplate God's providence and are assigned to protect special places, like the Garden of Eden, if you will, or any other holy site. And while this position doesn't seem like much, protecting important places is a high honor, and I guess it makes sense for Lucifer. I can imagine him being called the Morning Star wasn't just because he was really well liked, but because he could have been tasked with watching over the earth in the morning. This also gives a reason to why Lucifer had access to the Garden of Eden, when most don't. The third strongest are the thrones. They're the be not afraid, aka the rings with eyes and fire angels, and they're made to contemplate God's power and judgment, which feels like a recipe for disaster, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they're the reason Lucifer got pissed off by the whole angels should treat humans like God, which I can imagine not going well with some angels who can't fathom the idea of humans with 0 power or light being treated like the big man upstairs. So yeah, maybe not the best angels to have around. Second triad angels, aka middle level power angels. The second triad is kind of where the races end, as the angels are more power/job focused. So they all look like your basic angel, aka human with wings, but they are still considered not related, which outside their title or race are related. So an archangel and a thrones can't be related or considered the same angel. Think like fairy rules. You can call a seraphim an angel and you'd be right, but they're not a basic angel, you know? The only real exception to this is Michael and Lucifer. They were created at the same time by God, which caused them to share a linked bond. While they aren't seen as biological brothers, they are still considered related due to their connection. Also, this bond does apply to all the other angels. Any angel of the same race has a deeper connection to the other angel that they're related to, so there you go. Anyway, the first strongest of this triad is is Dominion's angels who lord over the lower choirs and humanity. They're basically the manager types of heaven and delegate the other angels, along with ruling out the first triad's orders. The second strongest are the virtues, angels who run the operation of movement in the universe. Now, I'm not 100% sure if there are only 7 virtues, or if 7 angels were chosen to combat the 7 deadly sins, since Michael is an archangel, but is also a virtue. So in Hotel Redemption, 7 angels were chosen for this position and blessed with more power to perform their duties. Also, in order to tell that they are the 7 virtues, their marginal covert feathers are gold, and Dominion feathers are white, and the powers are silver. Anyway though, for the overhaul, the virtues are the ones who decide if a soul gets into heaven or hell, as they're pretty much the embodiment of the virtues of a good person. Third strongest in the second triad is powers, which are angels who assist in governing the natural order. They are also warrior angels tasked to fight in the war against demons, so they're basically heaven's army class, and Michael is their leader, which they're not too happy about as he's an archangel, but since he fought in the war and beat Lucifer and is now a virtue, they respect him enough to let it go. Also, side note, though they're not biologically angels, half of Adam and Eve's children are a part of the powers rank and are the ones most used when going to hell on Extermination Day, so keep that in mind. Now the third triad angels, the lowest of the angels, but still important. The first strongest in the third triad are the principals, which are angels who are assigned to care and guard the communities, kingdoms, states, and to help figure out their power scale. They are described as princes, so their power level is probably on the same level as Stolas or other prince level Goetias. You could consider them assistant managers. The second strongest in the third triad are the archangels, which is what Michael was made to be, but due to him and Lucifer being born at the same time, made him extremely strong / powerful than your average level archangel, which are considered leader angels, assigned to carry out God's plan, so whatever God asked them to do, they do. But for Hotel Redemption, archangels, while close to the bottom on the triad, are often the ones picked for higher positions. If an archangel goes above and beyond, or shows a special talent or skill, they can rise up the ranks of being principals or powers. Sorry to any angel that wants a virtue position. There, unfortunately, can only be 7 at a time. Also, this does work for principals and power angels, but it is rare for an angel to be blessed to a higher position than what they already have. Third strongest and last power level of the 9 choirs. These are angels, who are closer to the material world and humanity, aka angels who are more guardian angel based or just spend more time on Earth, which is what Haniel is / does. She was created to be an angel of joy, where she spreads joy to humans. Anyway though, there's not much else angels do or involved in due to being on Earth, but I can say they are stressed out trying to get humans to be good and get into heaven. And that is about it for the hierarchy itself and separation of angels. It's a bit more complicated. The social hierarchy is kind of similar to the caste system, as each angel is born into their jobs and roles, yet lesser angels do have an option to rise ranks, but it's rare for that to happen. Other than that, the angels all see themselves as a collective with the same goal of serving God and helping humanity in life and in their afterlife. The angels don't ever really see each other as lesser, even though some have higher roles and power. They don't see it as them being less than or better. Also, again, do keep in mind, most angels who are the same type do not date each other, as they see each other as siblings, meaning archangels don't date other archangels, and vice versa for the others. It's more common to see mixed couples like Uriel and Eros, a Cupid angel from the Love Division. Anyway, hope any of that made sense. Honestly, the angels' world building, while fleshed out, is mainly background noise to help the audience understand why the 7 virtues are so high ranked and why Lucifer and Michael are treated the way they are. And even though they're different angel types, they all still have a connection, and also why Haniel's wing colors are the way they are. And I know I scream about world building a lot and it's important, but not everything needs 100% dedication or answers to how a world works exactly. As long as the info is mentioned or brought up naturally, you'd be surprised how fast you pick up on what's going on in the world of the show. Anyway, moving on to the main focus, aka the 7 virtues and how they work, aka court. Also, again, the color of an angel's wings show they aren't the same. This is how angels are able to tell each other apart. Anyway, court time. time. Court / judgment of a soul. So the 7 virtues. Now, I'm not going to explain their whole thing on the 7 virtues because we'll be here all day and because the info is kind of messy. But for Hotel Redemption, the 7 virtues are angels who are in charge in who gets into heaven or hell. Once a soul arrives, they are taken to the courtroom where all 7 virtues will look upon their soul and see how they lived to determine if they were good enough in life to be let in. This process is pretty fast, or well, it's fast to the angels as each one can just tell how far or high a soul ranks in their virtue. The virtues also have a system set up for when they're not around or busy, as humans are always dying. The system is basically a blessed, balanced scale. A soul sits in it and it determines your fate. And again, it's just blessed, or well, it's blessed with all 7 virtues light, so it's basically them deciding, but not physically. However, there are times when the scale can't fully determine where a soul goes and the court is brought in for it. There are special cases, as no virtue or sin is black and white, and heaven prides itself in understanding humans are not them and free will is a part of them. It's the decisions with their free will that determines how good you were. Anyway though, Michael has been trying to be more lenient in letting souls in, but the others know this is a bad idea, as souls not worthy could end up falling or cause God to take notice. Also, fun note, the best part of the courthouse is the room of film. It's where every human's memories are stored. No one really knows why they store them anymore, but a few lower angels love to watch them in their free time, and they're also used as learning aids for earthbound angels. And here's some extra stuff. Hellborns. So I'm not going to go super into detail about Hellborns as there's just too many, but Hellborns are all over hell. There's a Hellborn from every ring that keeps hell going. Also, most Hellborns are far older than they appear. While Hellborns can die from natural causes, they do live much longer lives. Well, depending on the Hellborn. There are also still the Ars Goetia, but they have no role in Hotel Redemption and will just be mentioned offhandedly. Also, be aware that Hellborns are still demons. They aren't humans with extra steps. They do not act or respond like humans do. Example, again, lust Hellborns will go crazy if they fall in love. It's not in their nature to love, and their body and mind has to correct itself. Gluttony Hellborns have a need to feed, no matter the situation. Gluttony Hellborns are a little different, as they are more hive mind based, but if asked to ignore the queen, well, yeah, that's not gonna happen, and you're not gonna like the response to it. Sloth citizens don't feel joy. Anything happy they feel makes them paranoid and untrustworthy of the person or thing that brought them joy. So yeah, Hellborns are very weird and really internalize their sin. So yeah, keep that in mind, please. Anyway, here's a few extra tidbits I found important / also questioned, as I feel it would come up, but in more subtle ways, and because I don't mind spoiling stuff at this point. So since the premise is can a soul be redeemed, I figured I'd explain the ins and outs of that. Kinda. So here's some of that. Can a soul be redeemed? Yes. How? By accepting their wrongdoings and self-reflection of their past and coming to terms that repeating the same mistakes is what's keeping them stuck. And like a lot of self-love too. Think Infinity Train style of reflection. What does a soul being redeemed look like? When a soul has changed or reflected enough, a light will be emitted, showcasing a change is happening, though the sinner can't see it. Only high-ranked demons and angelic beings can see it when it's happening. When the light stops, all they see is a regular old sinner, but it's when a full breakthrough is reached does a sinner revert to their more human form. What is hell really for? Hell is a place designed to torture yourself. It feeds on your weaknesses, which is why it's designed the way it is, along with knowing all the actions that caused your outcome. Even if you enjoy hell, you are still not excused from being tormented every day. However, it's up to you to change and stop repeating the same mistakes or hiding from guilt. Change and forgiveness is hard, but it can be done. Hell isn't forever. Does heaven know a soul can be redeemed? No, heaven only judges the living, meaning they judge your life, so when you die, they know where to send you. So they have no knowledge about the loophole. God gave the ability of change to humans and told no one. Even though he was upset with Adam and Eve, it didn't seem fair to doom all the creations after them. Plus, now that all humans have free will, it was only fair they had the right to choose their path in the afterlife as much as they did in life. Why is the balance important? Souls are what keeps the world balanced. The energy they emit from both sides amplifies heaven and hell's power, which affects Earth. And due to there being too many souls in hell, it has started to negatively affect Earth, causing more sinning. How do you fix the balance? You can't fix it exactly, but removing souls can help it. What do you mean, removing souls? Angels are the only beings besides God that can wipe away a soul, though usually when a soul/person has become bored of heaven or just wants another go, they get reincarnated. But since souls are so precious and powerful, there's no point in destroying them in heaven, so reincarnation is an option, though it's very rare for it to happen, as most are very happy in heaven. So why was the extermination put into effect? When Lucifer fell and the war ended, he planned to start another one using the souls in hell to boost his army's power. However, it took a much longer time than he hoped, and he and Lilith fell with child during this wait. Lucifer was then rewarded with more souls than ever, as humanity was being tainted more and more by hell's energy. Michael took notice of this and spoke to his brother about it. Lucifer tried to play coy, but Michael knows Lucifer too well and says if the balance falls, he won't be responsible for what happens to his family, making Lucifer realize if another war happens, he could lose his family all over again. So he and Michael make a contract to never let the balance fall, and that each year angels will come down to collect a certain number of souls to correct the balance, though Lucifer, feeling a bit jaded by this, says the angels can't save while they're there and must kill the sinners the way they would have his people. No blessing them. He wants his fellow angels to suffer the way he is, and wants the humans to suffer as he never cared for them to begin with. And Michael agrees to this. And that is it for the world building. Sorry if I missed anything, but the main thing that is important in world building are to explore themes, flesh out details, make the plot flow, and the metaphysical stuff, since we're dealing with angels and demons and religion in a sense, and obviously psychology stuff, aka why things are the way they are. Cause if you didn't do this, the story would become confusing. Plus, world building can also be utilized to enrich your plot. Places a character goes can help open their eyes and change them in some way. I find it helps to ask why something works the way it does. That way you can figure out the answer and have all the world building ready to go. Anyway, thank you for listening to me rant and rave about Hotel Redemption. While I know it won't be anything, I still wanted to show you guys the ins and outs of how to create your own worlds and characters. Sucks I had to use Hazbin Hotel to showcase this, but I need an outlet for my frustration. Either way, this was fun. I love talking about world building, and I can't wait to talk about it more with my own personal project. Hint, hint. Anyway, next installment will be the 3-parter of each season and how it'll all play out, along with visual aids. Yay! Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials right here, and if possible, hit that join button or super to join the Board of Teeth. It really helps out the channel and me. I hope you all have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!